What's up, my loves? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jae, and guys, today I have got an amazing spread, if not strange, a little strange, but definitely an amazing spread. So I've got an amazing story for you as well, but first let me go through the food, because it is the most important, right? Right. Yes is the only correct answer to that, so just in case you were wavering. What we have today is a spread of cookies and then a weird grilled cheese sandwich because this is a lot of sweet things and I need some salty. So first, I ordered a box of gluten-free and vegan cookies. I have been following this company, the Pacific Northwest Cookie Company, for a while on Instagram, and I just wanted to, give it a go. And they were having a sale on Black Friday, and I was super freaking pumped about it. Okay, so let's talk about the type of cookies that I have in front of me. So here is the peanut butter cookie. This is the double chocolate chip. And this is the classic chocolate chip cookie. This, I believe, I smell it. It's minty. This is the peppermint hot chocolate flavor. This is the exclusive holiday flavor. And this right here is a molasses cookie. One of my best friends, Madeline, she loves anything molasses, so I ordered it. Not for her, but for me. But I thought of her, so that's the kind of friend I am. And then, oh wait, no. This is chocolate chip, and this is oatmeal. And guys, if you didn't know, oatmeal raisin is like in my top 3 cookies. I don't know why, maybe because I'm a grandma, I don't know, but I am just into oatmeal raisin cookies. So excited. And guys, what I have here is very interesting. So I bought some fire noodles because I saw on a recent mukbang channel, a recent mukbang episode on a channel. Oh my God. Anyway, I saw it on the internet that they had made a grilled cheese sandwich with the fire noodles. Now, historically, I have not done well with these noodles. I've taken like 1 or 2 bites and hated my life and my stomach. That's my dog. If you hear weird noises, it's my dogs. But I figured since I'm having all of this sugar, maybe I could have a little torturous heat. I don't know. We're gonna see how it goes. But here I have some plain soy milk, and then here I have some strawberry soy milk. Really, I just put strawberry syrup in the soy milk. Mostly because I feel like that's what I tend to drink when I eat super spicy things, and I rather enjoy it. So, without further ado, I'm starving. Let's try one of these cookies. Which one should I try first? Ooh, let's try the plain chocolate chip and just get a baseline for what we're expecting. It's really good. It is on the crispier side. There is a bit of chew, but it's pretty good. For a gluten-free vegan, I don't know that you would be able to tell. Yum. Oh my God. Okay. Before we get into the story, let's try one more cookie and then we'll get wild. I wanted to give this peanut butter one a go. This is thick and this is softer than this chocolate chip. Yum. Peanut butter is dang. Do you like my classy wine glasses filled with milk? That's how I roll these days. Okay. Let's get into the story. So this story was sent to me by one of my good friends, Casey. And this is a Reddit story. This is a fictional account. I should make that disclaimer now. You know how some towns have their quirks? And what I mean by that, like maybe some towns have a very special funky parade, or they have like a festival. Like some towns have like wool shearing festivals. I don't know. And as another example, my town, the town next to my town, is actually the site of one of the oldest and most historic slave markets. Fancy. Not, because we are not for slavery. Just a disclaimer, just in case anyone needed that spelled out for them. We are not for slavery. Moving on. So when it comes to interesting small towns, we come to this town of Hudson, Oregon. Let's give this chocolate cookie, oh my God, it looks so good. Mmm, 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 mmm. That was amazing. Double chocolate chip. That's the one. That's really good. So Hudson, Oregon. Now, this particular town, their quirk is sometimes bodies are found in trees. And when I mean that bodies are found in trees, I don't just mean that maybe someone murdered someone and then left them in the hollow or the crook of the tree. What I mean is that sometimes when a tree is chopped down or cut open, there are bodies in the trees. As in, maybe the tree grew around these bodies. Ooh, what cookie next? Okay, let's try molasses. Y'all. Ooh, looks so good. Mm-hmm. That is very good. Mmm. Wow. Molasses is super good. So, bodies found in trees. Very strange. Everyone who's watching this is like, that's not a thing. And most everyone in Hudson, Oregon thinks that. They dismiss it as rumor or, tall tale or urban legend. And one particular rumor of this phenomenon is the story of the Bensons. Benson's regular family in Hudson, Oregon, and they were one day in their backyard chopping down a tree for firewood like families do. And as they were processing this wood, as they were splitting it into what firewood's supposed to be, they find something interesting. At first it looks like nothing, and then they realize it's bodily remains. Bones, bits of clothing. They immediately stop, halt everything, and they call the police. But for the most part, the story of the Bensons is dismissed as urban legend until March 29th of 1987. A local lumberyard was processing some wood, as they do. Guys, I need more cookies. Okay, before we continue, let's try this. Oh, this one, she a thick one. Look at this holiday peppermint hot chocolate cookie. This breaks apart like a brownie. Mmm. Mmm. Oh my God. Wow. Just wow. Oh wow, that's the best. That's amazing. If you like mint chocolate, that's amazing. Okay, what haven't we tried? Oatmeal. Okay, let's try this before we get crazy into this story. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow. Buttery, oaty, like oatmeal cookies do. And the strawberries are not dry and chewy. They're plump and lovely. Mm-hmm. Mm. I don't know, it's my favorite. A local lumberyard processing wood as they do, and one of the attendants were shocked to find, I don't know, whatever, lumber processors, they were shocked to find the remains of a missing woman named Helen. So they stop everything. They call the police, and the police come down and they test the remains. They send it off to be DNA tested, etc., etc. But one of the biggest clues to finding out who it was and how did they get there and all that stuff is that they actually found a name tag in the wood with her name, Helen, on it. It's a Sears name tag, and that's how they connected it to a local missing woman, because she worked at Sears and she disappeared randomly one day, and then she was in the lumber. Guys, what the heck is happening in this town? Am I right? I would move. If I was that lumber person, I would move. I just don't know. I don't know about all of that. So accounts like these taper off after Helen's mystery in 1987. And in the 80s, Hudson, Oregon was, sort of touted to be the next Portland. There was lots of plans for expansion and building and sort of municipal stuff, right? Well, as the rest of America's economy was booming, Hudson's economy was failing. They had cleared a bunch of land. They chopped down a bunch of trees to make way for houses and buildings and shopping centers and businesses. But inexplicably, everything came to a halt. Everything came crashing down. The economy just became stagnant. And so they stopped, and no record of expansion was found after 1987. Okay, let's get into this grilled cheese sandwich. I'm really scared, guys. I'm scared of this story, and I'm scared of this grilled cheese. Oh my God. Okay. Seriously, when I say that I don't do well with these noodles, I love spicy food. Nuclear noodles are a different level. And some people will say, I have friends, my friend Irina, for example, will say that she loves it and it's not that crazy. It is spicy, and I should just put a disclaimer that I only put about 2/3 of the spicy sauce on it because I didn't want to die today, okay? Okay, your girl has IBS and I'm not trying to trigger it today. All right, let's see. Well, here's the sandwich. There's the noodles, and I put cheese. I used Follow Your Heart Gouda slices, so let's see. Okay, I'm not dead yet. It's pretty good, actually. Okay, let's go in for another bite. I'm not dead, so. It's actually kind of good. I saw this on Stephanie Sue's channel, and I was like, maybe with the cheese and the bread and half the sauce, I won't die. Currently not dying. There is a little fire starting in my mouth, but it's bearable. And it's tasty because I put a lot of vegan butter on the bread because I was like, anything to dumb down the spice. Gonna have some of that strawberry milk. Guys, I know, I'm trying to be super serious about this story, but serious is not my game. So as I was saying, not much plans for building and expanding and, clearing land was found after their first attempt at expanding Hudson, Oregon. So enter our main protagonist of the story. His name is Mike. Now, Mike, one day, went to go visit his old buddy. They've been friends for a very long time, since they were kids. And Eddie recently found his apartment emptied. His girlfriend of 4 years took everything that belonged to her and up and left the apartment, left the relationship without so much as a bye, bis, no note, no nothing. That sucks. I would be destroyed, honestly. But so he went over to his friend Eddie's to sort of console him, the way that boys do. Not a lot of talk about feelings, mostly just like being there for your buddy. They were sitting in Eddie's living room, having some beers, chilling, that sort of thing. Well, Mike decides maybe he wants to try and, give Eddie some advice, some encouragement, some talk. I've got to say, out of all the cookies, the chocolate chip is my least favorite. It's still good. It's really good. And I don't think any of these cookies, if you gave it to someone, they would be like, that's gluten-free and vegan. No, definitely not. They taste amazing. But for some reason, this is less luscious than the other cookies. It is thinner and it is crisper. The other ones are more of like a chewy, cakey texture inside. So. So, as they were chilling in Eddie's apartment, Mike is trying to talk to him, give him some encouragement, and suddenly, in mid-sentence, Eddie gets up from the couch and just walks into his bedroom, away from Mike's conversation. And Mike is like, dude, what the hell? And then Eddie comes out back into the living room holding an axe. And Mike is immediately like, whoa, what's happening? Okay, I'm going to do something real quick. I'm going to see. My dogs are freaking out. If you hear them scuttling around, I'm sorry. But I've got some coconut milk non-dairy Cool Whip, Ready Whip. Let's see. Oh, it's not working. I don't know what's up with this can. It's like defective. It won't do the, alrighty. Well, there's a little bite. I think my fridge is a little too cold. And it won't. This is sad. And it's good. That's the unfortunate thing. So we'll come back to that. And at this point, Mike is like, what the heck? His friend, it's obvious his friend is stricken with grief and is now acting out. But why does he have to have an axe right now, is what Mike is thinking. Without a word, Eddie just takes his axe and marches out the front door. And Mike is like, whoa, wait, where are you going? And he follows Eddie out the door. Eddie crosses the apartment courtyard to the back of the apartment complex into a grove of trees. And Mike is following him. He's turned on his phone so that he can use a flashlight. He's freaking out, ready to call the cops if he needs to. And so Eddie walks straight to a felled tree in the little grove that he went towards. And he starts hacking away. And Mike is like, dude, what are you doing? And Eddie just stops. For a second, he's like, I'm clearing my head. Just very calm, very deadpan, like, I need to do this. My girlfriend left me, and I need to just hit something. And now, according to Mike, Eddie's always been like this. He's never been super violent, but he's always had a temper, and he's always someone who's had to, like, punch a wall. So, I get that. I've been there. So as Eddie is chopping away at this tree trunk, Mike suddenly yells, stop, dude, stop. And Eddie, because of his tone, is like, what? And all Mike does is point to the blade of his axe. And they both look at the blade of Eddie's axe, and there is blood on the axe. So they're both confused. They look at the tree trunk that Eddie has been hacking at, and they see that it's also stained with blood, as if it's oozing blood coming from within the tree. And so at this point, Eddie has now stopped being enraged. He is no longer upset, and he is curious now. So what he does is he starts chipping away as delicately as possible at the tree trunk. Okay, what do we try? Maybe we have more of this sandwich. I'm into this. I like that a lot. So, as Eddie is chipping away, they see blood-soaked denim come away. And they're like, oh God. And then, as Eddie chips more, a leg. He chips more, a torso. And they're getting more and more confused and curious and concerned. Eddie continues to chip away at the wood, and they find an arm. They find a set of shoulders. And eventually, they get to the face. It's very obviously a man. And what they do now is that they sort of peel away the bark of the tree. Now, this gets weird because with them peeling away the bark of the tree, some of the skin from the man's face peels with it. Now, not only is this disturbing, unsettling, and gross in so many ways, horrifying, macabre, but also that sort of makes it seem like this tree grew around the man. But how is that possible? And so Eddie and Mike are so bewildered and horrified. And as they continue to peel away the layers of the bark, chip away the wood, they realize that the man had his arm outstretched, his face frozen in an eternal scream, as if the tree grew around him all of a sudden. At this point, they are so panicked, so nauseous, so scared, they call the police, and the police rush over. Guys, the story is crazy. This cookie, though, crazier. This peanut butter is so good. What's interesting about these cookies is that they're not overly sweet. So normally by now I'd be feeling kind of sick with this amount of cookies and sweets, but I'm good. We're going. So what happens next? The cops examine everything, they take the evidence, they send it in for testing, etc. Mike and Eddie go home, but Mike is so confused, so just disturbed that he follows up with the cops every day for the next couple of days. And I don't blame him. I would too. So what the cops tell him next disturbs him to no end. But, do you see that? Okay, it's obvious that I'm just not meant to have whipped cream. I don't know why it's doing this. Normally it has this very satisfying shh sound that triggers my dogs, but maybe it's good that it doesn't trigger my dogs. Molasses cookie. Oh my God, that is so good. Yeah, okay, one more. It's nice and ooh. See, sort of, but not really. All right, Mm. That molasses cookie is dank. It's amazing. And what's funny is that when I ordered the molasses, it was like the last cookie that I chose, and I couldn't quite figure out if I made the right choice, but I thought I'd try it because my friend loves molasses. 100% delicious. Oh God. So, what the cops tell Mike is that this is actually the body of Jim Peters, a 43-year-old real estate agent who went missing a month before from Arizona. When I first read this, I was like, well, that's disturbing. But what's more disturbing, aside from the fact that what the heck is a dude from Arizona who went missing in Arizona doing in the forest of, Hudson, Oregon? Like, what's happening there? And then I realized, a month? This tree was fully grown before it was chopped down. It takes years for a tree trunk to get to that full grown size, right? Not a month. There's something so sinister happening in this town. And it takes a month to grow up around a man, a dead man. So a few days later, after Mike makes this startling discovery, after hearing all this information from the cops, Eddie comes over. It had been a while since they'd spoken since the incident. Everyone had to sort of cool down, right? Right. Well, let me take a bite. I know, I'm just keeping you on suspense, but I need to eat, right? Oh God, so many noodles. This looks so good. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm. It's so good. Like seriously, I have zero shame in the fact that I couldn't use the whole packet of spicy seasoning because it's just too much for my little belly. Well, right now it's not feeling so little. Mm. Mm. This is so tasty. Mm. Mm. So, like I was saying, Eddie comes over and they sort of sit down and they chat. They crack open a few beers as they do. And Eddie, for a while, doesn't say a whole lot. Mike is doing most of the talking. Mike tells him what the cops told him, and they sort of just reflect in a bit of silence. Finally, Eddie sits up, holding his beer, and he says, I don't think it was an accident that we found this body in this tree. And Mike is like, what? What do you mean? And he's like, well, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that we found this body. And Mike just sort of stares at him. He's like, dude, what are you talking about? And at this point, Mike notices that Eddie has sort of looked very run down, dark bags under his eyes, and he's just looked like he's been through a lot in the last couple of days, which he has. So he's trying to make sense of what Eddie is saying, but also take it with a grain of salt. And Eddie's like, well, I think it was guaranteed. Because don't you understand? All the trees have bodies here. And Mike is like, what? And Eddie doesn't say much. He basically is just like, well, maybe not all of the trees have bodies, but probably most of the trees have bodies in them. And so after that afternoon, they sort of part ways. Eddie goes home, Mike goes on with his life. And about 2 weeks later, Eddie's parents call Mike, which is very strange. That's not a thing that happens. And Mike is like, what's going on? And Eddie's parents are like, we haven't seen him in 6 days. And the last time that we heard from him, we've been trying to call his cell. We've done everything. And the last time we heard from him, he was on his way to your place. So this alarms Mike to no end. Mike gets up, he calls Eddie, calls every phone number that might be associated with Eddie, and nothing, comes back with nothing. So he gets in his car and drives over to Eddie's apartment. He gets to Eddie's apartment and he knows that Eddie keeps a key under his mat. So he grabs that key, he goes into Eddie's apartment, and he looks around and he sees that nothing has changed. Eddie's stuff is all there. Everything looks normal. And at this point, Mike has been through so much with Eddie that Mike just sits down and cries. And he can't remember the last time that he actually cried, but he is genuinely concerned about Eddie. Where is Eddie? So after about half an hour of just crying, Mike gets up. And he decides that he wants to look around a little bit more. So he gets up, he goes behind the apartment complex and starts to cross the courtyard. And when he does, he almost falls over. He basically collides into a giant, full-grown elm tree in the middle of the apartment courtyard. And guys, Mike and Eddie were just in that courtyard not 2 weeks ago when they found that guy's body in the trunk of the tree. And Mike knows for a damn fact that that elm tree wasn't there before. Mike is now preparing to leave Hudson. He's had enough. And he is making preparations to move to Indiana. The days leading up to his move to Indiana, he has gotten up twice in the middle of the night with his axe to go over to Eddie's apartment. But he's never fully made it. He always stops halfway to the apartment and just turns around. He just cannot bring himself to confirm whether Eddie is in the trunk of that giant elm tree. Guys, this story effed me up. And I was reading the comments of the, Reddit thread, and someone had posted, this is some Junji Ito shit. And guys, when I read it, I was like, this is why this story is crazy to me. Because it is some Junji Ito shit. This is definitely something that horror manga artist would definitely write about. Can I just say, I really enjoyed reading this short story. I will link everything down in the description below, but truly, I was so drawn in. The accounts, the historical accounts in the story that were included made everything feel so real. And there was very little fat in the story. There wasn't a whole lot that you could be like, this isn't necessary to this short story. Everything was very succinct, very tight, and just flowed instantly and very well. And I just was blown away by the quality of this short story. So definitely check out the story in its full down below. Give it some love on Reddit. And guys, if you enjoyed this mukbang, this series, let me know in the comments. I'd love to continue making these for you, but I want to hear your thoughts on it. I am going to eat more of this. Oh God, oh no, don't soil my cookies. Mmm. 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 Y'all should make this grilled cheese. It is not healthy. It is not good for you, but it is delicious. Also, if I had to rank my favorite cookies, I would say Oatmeal, 1. Molasses, 2. Holiday peppermint hot chocolate, 1, 3. And then the rest are all still very delicious, but those are my top 3. If you guys are interested in Pacific Northwest Cookie, this is not sponsored, by the way. I spent my own money. They did not reach out to me, but I will include their links down below. And guys, if you had a great time, please let me know in the comments, like I said, and also hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and of course, hit that notification bell so you always know when I've got good things coming to you. Spooky things. Bye, y'all.